Okay, I think we are live. I hope the Wi-Fi, the internet connection here won't make any problems today, as it has done previously. I'm going to give it a few seconds so that a few more people can join um, the chat here. Now, this is a live stream. It's a public live stream. I usually do these live streams for members only, so you can consider becoming a member to the channel if you want access to those. Now, if you really want me to see your comment in the chat, because I can see that there are lots of great comments there already. But if you really want me to see that comment in the chat, you can consider to give me a super chat. It's not really that much about the money, but it's just the way YouTube has set the whole thing up here. Because I have to look at the camera while I'm talking, and I can't look at the chat while I do that. So, a super chat will pop up, so that I will see it. Okay, let's get into the topic here. Communism. Communism, communism is back. Well, it never went away, but communism has a few traits, if you will, a few things about it that might surprise many people. Dare I say, especially younger people, because if you're old enough to remember the Cold War, and especially if you grew up in a country sharing a border with what was then the Soviet Union, you will remember communism. Um, and communism is not what certain people in the USA and other countries, but especially in the USA, are portraying as this nice, wonderful way of reorganizing society so that everyone gets what they need. That's not communism. You might argue that it's socialism, but communism it's not. Um, Now, communism comes from the word the commune. It really is a system, right? I'm not going to get into details on that, but it's basically a system where you have communities, right, working together, and the state will own everything. Individuals don't really own anything, and what you produce is for the common good, and so on and so on. And someone's writing here, it's just another name for Marxism. Oh, okay, liberal progressive, just another name for Marxism. Okay. Now, communism is, I think that if you've lived during the Cold War and you remember how it was, and especially if you lived under communism, you will be more qualified to just to talk about communism, to explain what it is, than people who haven't. I will make that statement. Maybe you will say it's a bold statement, but it's still, I will do that. And what I find puzzling, and I have found it puzzling ever since I discovered that it was becoming very popular to talk about communism as a good thing over even in the USA. And I found it very puzzling because the people who portray communism as a good thing, they will also typically be very socially liberal. if you get what I mean. Communism is not socially liberal. And this is quite an interesting aspect of communism, I believe, because communism is anti-liberal. Okay. Communism does not accept anything that goes against the established system. Communism doesn't like any form of religion. Communism doesn't like any form of well, I'm trying to find the right words so that I won't be struck by the by the YouTube thing there. Communism, well, if communist leaders are famous for actually executing people just for being not straight, if you get what I mean. So it's, in a sense, and don't get me wrong here, but I would like to use the word conservative, so socially conservative. You could actually argue that communism is socially conservative. And this brings me to my next point here. I have seen some people who, on YouTube, I've seen some YouTubers who have been very, well, if you look at the culture war, right? They've been very much against liberalism in this the social liberalism. Sorry, that's difficult to pronounce for a Norwegian. They've been against what typically the leftists, if you can call them that, are for, right? So the whole gender thing, confusion, and the whole. I'm trying to use. I'm sorry. I will be maybe not choosing the right words, but I know I'm. It's thin ice area, right? Because it's a little bit difficult to talk about here on this um, platform and other platforms as well. So when you look at the rhetoric used by the Putinists, the people supporting Putin, Putin, that rhetoric is extremely anti-liberal and socially conservative. I'm sure you have noticed, right? So maybe we shouldn't be surprised when certain people with a very, who would say, they are right wing, totally right wing, people who have been condemning communism are now big fans of what Putin and his regime is doing now. Because what Putin is talking about, that rhetoric, is pretty much the same as what these people have been talking about, right? Now, I hope you follow my train of thought here, and I hope that you can see that I do have a point, right? Now, there are exceptions and there are nuances to this, but I hope you can see that, well, I believe I have a point here. Okay. Okay, I'll look at the super chat comments here. Let's see here. John, thanks for the donation. To put it simply, communism, and the word is bad, not good. I agree. I've been here for 52 years. I remember the wall coming down. Yeah, that was something. Yeah, we can never let the walls go back up. Bjorn, stay safe. Well, stay safe, you as well, John. Wise words there. Absolutely. this division that we are seeing now being created um, against the West and Russia is not going to. It's going to harm us. It's going to harm the Russians. It's going to harm us. Okay, let me let me. Oh no, that was the one. No, let me see here. Let Let's see here. Okay, the settings. Yeah, no, that was the super chat there. So I I hope that the people who are saying now in social media and so on that they support what Putin is doing. Well, I don't. I'm going to be very blunt about that. I don't at all. Um, but I hope that when they look at him as being sort of the savior of traditional values, I mean, people who believe that, I hope that you can please pick up a history book, read about Soviet communism. Um, while portrayed as something that might look not so bad, it's going to be horrible, truly horrible, you know. So I think that we need to call this for what it is. Communism is communism, and that's what we're seeing over in Russia now. And um, communism is socially conservative, and again, maybe that's why some people on the right, um, not only on the right, but I don't like those left and right terms, but anyway, you know what I mean. Maybe that's why they support Putin now. You know. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, lost my train of thought again. Ever since I learned that expression, I've used it a lot here in the live streams. Berserker Gang 2019. Thanks a lot there. Wow, that's quite some donation. And you are in Germany, so, and you're writing that I have witnessed the effects of the Berlin Wall still here in Germany up till today. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, now I think I remember what I was going to say. Don't get me wrong here. I do not support this that kind of social liberalism where they pretty much say that everything is fine, everything is okay, except being conservative. I'm not socially liberal myself, um, and but it's like I don't want communism, and I think that if you're supporting Putin now, it's it is a Soviet style communism, and I know that some people on the left are desperately trying to portray what they are doing, what the Putinists are doing now, as fascism. Yeah, I've seen it a lot actually, and that's what they are calling it. It's historically wrong. It's the term is actually communism, and communism can be and will most often be have an imperialistic way of treating neighbor states. Okay, let's see here. Bertram, thanks a lot. That's extremely kind of you, and bless you as well. I try to speak the truth. But I think it's extremely difficult when you look at the situation in the Ukraine. Well, some parts, let me say this, some parts of it is very, very simple. Um, People are suffering. That's sadly, it's very simple. I know there are people, I've seen them in the comment section on some of my videos. They're saying that no, it's in mainstream media, so it can't be true. There are no bombings. No, and if there are bombings, it's the the government bombing their own people. No, no, that's not correct. So it's actually very simple. The Russian forces or the Russian military, they are bombing the Ukrainians. Ukrainians, those who can, are fleeing. Um, the Ukrainian government has made it illegal, I believe, for men between 18 and 60 to leave the country. So what we get is this vast stream of refugees, women and children, trying to get out of the Ukraine. It's a humanitarian disaster. The effects will be immense. And we're also seeing people suffering because of the sanctions in Russia. I know for a fact that um, organizations working with charity are having a very hard time, which affects children, poor people, animals now in Russia, because it's difficult now, you know. So okay. Um, let's see here. Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know why some of the comments here are like hasn't anything to do with this. So please stay on topic. Anna RQY says, I lived in Berlin before the wall came down. The east was very dull, drab, and subdued. The west was bright, colorful, lively, and never slept. I think the best is somewhere between. The Ukraine in 1994, 95, 95. Yeah, well, and what I could see of the country was very beautiful, you know, very beautiful, very flat where I was. Um, and it was very gray. The buildings, everything was very gray. You know, it was so strange to be there in a way. But I was there to compete in the European powerlifting championship back then, and I didn't think so much. I was focused on that, right? So, but we went to Kiev. That was a very beautiful city, actually. Um, so I will say I'm going to not going to keep you long, but I will say this, and I always say that. Well, not always, but I've started to say this a lot. Um, don't jump to conclusions, guys. Don't just grab something that you feel must be true, right? Don't be so absolute about anything, if you know what I mean. Um, very often the truth is quite complex. Um, and you really can't explain a situation like the war now with one sentence. So there are many aspects to this, many aspects. So Yeah. So, sometimes I feel like yeah, because I see some comments now that, okay. So that's an interesting one with Schwab and Putin, that connection there. It's because he was one of the young leaders, as they call them, Mr. Putin. And I think we can only speculate on the connection there. I have my guesses, but I can't prove those guesses, right? So they will remain guesses. Um, yeah, I thought you wrote OFC Nation. Too many preppers prefer emotion over logic. But you wrote too many prefer emotion over logic. But I believe if you had written too many preppers prefer emotion over logic, that would have been true as well. Um, so, yeah, truth is simple. It's the lies that hide it that are complex. No, I don't think so. Total utter nutter. I don't think so, actually. I think that the truth. Well, uh, some people, they say this is my truth and that's your truth. No, I don't disagree with that. The truth is the truth. It's only one thing. That's the truth. Everything else is not the truth, right? But when I say there are many aspects to it, it's because normally there are, you know. Roger Jenkins says, I started walking like you were talking about last time. 3 miles, 5 kilometers. That's awesome. I'm going to, and congratulations. Yeah, totally awesome. I'm going to make a video about that. It's not going to become very popular. Most people think it's boring, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit on my main channel, probably, because it's important and it's very overlooked, actually. Yeah, your truth is from your perspective, exactly. But if you put any perspective into it, it's not the whole truth. So I know it's very popular to use that term, but I do not believe that. That's we can't talk about truth like that. It must be one thing. Lose Your Life says, I'm going to start working out again. And love nature, evens family. I run daily. I can't sleep if I don't. Always run in the woods. It helps. That's awesome. Texas Patriot says, the truth is the truth. It is always constant. Uh, lots of definitions here on truth. Okay, I can't really follow them all, but is Matthias here? Bob is here. Are you losing weight? No, you can't say that to a powerlifter. No, I'm not losing weight. Actually, the opposite. I've gained some weight, um, but hopefully, it's health is more important than weight. But yeah, that's a big topic, by the way. Um, I do not believe in health at any size. And that's like has to do with the definition of truth as well. What's the truth about health? Can you be healthy if you're obese? No, you can't. That's totally different topic. But again, the truth is the truth. Maybe complex, but it's one thing, right? Okay. Um, okay. Let's see here. Yeah, BMI is funny. Yeah, that's funny because as you wrote there, Mr. X, that if you have lots of muscles, you can have the same BMI. Well, two people, it's only the weight, um, in the weight and the height, right? So a very fat person and a very muscular person will have the same BMI, but obviously the more muscular person will be healthier. So BMI is not a good number, but yeah. So um, I think I will end the live stream with that, and I hope you all still are having a good and wonderful day. Um, and yeah, take a look at one of the other videos, one of the other live streams here, or on my main channel or my outdoors channel. All the links will be found in the video description. It really helps the algorithm if you do that. First and foremost, stay safe out there, stay strong, and we'll talk soon. Bye.